There we go.
Okay.
So let me see. Are we in our group? This is so fun. I love learning new stuff, and this is completely new.
Yeah.
Modern boss. Can you see from your end, Melody?
Yeah, I see. Yes, I see. Yeah, we're on.
Oh my God, this is awesome. Now we learned something. This is so
Something new.
Hi everyone, welcome. We are just Melody and I are just checking up on because Zoom wasn't working, and you would think I would know by now how to get Zoom to work. Having 4 kids at home with homeschooling, but it still doesn't allow me to go live here. So Melody came to the rescue and showed me StreamYard, which I actually been wanting to check out. Anyone here has been using StreamYard and like it? I guess you can Zoom and StreamYard, right?
Yeah. So I think the StreamYard is much more smoother. You don't get that so many glitches, and if the website the reception is poor, Zoom can be very glitchy. So the voice can be lagging, or there's so much noise and stuff. So StreamYard is much more better.
Yeah. And also, I can see you're allowed to record here too, because I do a lot of trainings in Zoom. So
yeah.
Awesome. Wow. This is so fun. Well, thank you, Melody. I'm so excited to have you here, not just for this, but just in general, because you have something really big to announce and share with the group. And I'm really excited to have you here.
Yeah. So I'm running a summit, well, it's called Unstoppable Summit. I've got 7 speakers, and it's about helping women to how to become unstoppable, how to supercharge your confidence, and really listening to other women's stories, their life experiences, and gaining more wisdom. Because you'll be there and you'll be talking about wisdom. Because I think so many of us didn't have the wisdom growing up. That was my case, and we're trying to figure it out ourselves, and we kind of fall down and if we don't learn, then what we do is repeat that same pattern over and over again. So it's great to invite other women in to share, and learn from their experiences.
I love that. And I know you're a mindset coach and also a consultant for Bob Proctor, right? And you help women specifically really tune into their innate selves and recharge their confidence and become unstoppable. And it's exactly what I have been talking a lot about these past few months, especially in my group, but also in the book I'm coming up with and in my writing. It's like it's birthed through me. And I love what you said about that we don't necessarily know this or learn this when we're younger. Right. But it's something that you learn as you grow older and you get into trainings and you meet people who kind of show you the way. So tell us a little bit more about you, Melody, because I'd love to hear what inspired you to, first of all, do these summits, but also be where you are in life.
I think it came from a lot of failure, a lot of failure. And, it's taken me, I'm 47 at the moment, and I think I didn't really get my breakthroughs until just recently. And I had, growing up, I was a Bow refugee at age 4, came to Australia, lived in Housing Commission for quite a long time. And now we live, my parents still live in a Vietnamese Chinese community. There's a lot of pho there. There's a lot of food, and it's great. And my husband and I live on the west side, about an hour away from them. And so growing up, I felt like I was really awkward. I felt really clumsy. I felt like I didn't really belong. I was playing with a lot of kids who were older than me, much smarter than me. And I think it's just something inside of me just wanted to find out, find out some truths and things. And I remember I shared this story with someone, I went to Catholic school, and we were just talking about how Catholic school, the nuns and the teachers used to use rulers to hit you on the knuckle if you did something wrong. Yeah. And you had to go to church and confess and things like that. And it's really interesting. I used to just let people come in, Jehovah's Witnesses and all these people talking about, religion and, finding God, the Bible and stuff. I was very curious. I was kind of curious, what's this thing about, if what is, is this really a God out there? Is there somebody? And I felt like I was being judged all the time. I felt like I did a lot of wrong things, and that, I was kind of like trying to, compensate this, but my parents were Buddhist and they grew up as Buddhists. And so there's all these things just led me to kind of like seeking answers during personal development after university. And I felt really fascinated with this world, that people thinking differently, they're living differently outside. They weren't working. I fell in love with the entrepreneurial journey. And my parents are not, nobody in the family are business people. They're all like, kind of working in jobs and things. And I think I was the only one that was really crazy enough to start looking at, what if there's a different way?
Yeah.
Right? I want to, live a life where I just work from home, be with my kids. I missed out on my daughter growing up. She's 21 at the moment. I missed out on her growing up, and I didn't want to do that with my son. And so I wanted to find kind of like a way to actually build that business. And so I came across, personal development. I went and I was a personal development junkie. I went in and like learned from like all sorts of gurus and mentors around the world, and traveled around the world, and, following and chasing, doing boot camps and all those things. It was an amazing journey. And it's just like recently, just in the last couple of years, 3 years, I came across this Bob Proctor consultant workshop. And he showed us like, we are more than what we are. We are, we're spiritual beings living in the human body. And it's just like we live in this illusion where we have a lot of, limiting beliefs, because, we're being told by society, conditioned to believe this way. And I guess that kind of like set something on within me, and I started to kind of put some dots together. And I got really fascinated and got into the kind of the world of manifesting. Because, Bob is from the hit movie The Secret. And I decided that, wow, I want to learn this. I want to learn more about like, who I am. And I kind of realized like, that there's so many experiences in my life that because of thinking the wrong way, it led momentum rolling into the ditches, as it were, right? One wrong thinking led to the next. And it all came back from this feeling of feeling inadequate. And I didn't want to be wrong. I had this feeling, I had this thing within me that I just want to be right. I was so very guarded, very ignorant, and I didn't want anybody else to know I was ignorant. And even up to now, I still have bits and pieces there where I realize, shit, I'm still holding on to that, right? I didn't want anybody to know that I don't know. And I remember like growing up, my dad used to tell me, if you don't know it, don't ask, don't tell it, don't say, you speak too much, you let people know that you're ignorant. And so I was very quiet. I was very quiet. I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to ask anybody. Like in school, I would just conscientiously just do my stuff. I didn't want to ask questions. And I realized that was such a big thing where now I'm starting to, like, it's okay. I just like, if I don't know, I'm just going to ask. And even Bob Proctor, my mentor, he's saying that, yeah, I don't know it. I just ask.
Yeah.
I'm still asking questions. And I'm thinking, oh, shit, like, who am I to not ask? If Bob's still asking questions, he's 86 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know it, so I'm just going to ask.
But you know what, Melody? I think it's so much truth in what you're saying. And I think this is like I don't know what to call it, but today, especially for new entrepreneurs, are coming by the like thousands, right? Starting businesses, but they don't know everything and they're afraid to look, like you said, stupid or ignorant. So they rather do the wrong thing than ask for support and say, hey, I just don't know this. And I've noticed this because I adopt the exact similar upbringing to what you said about like not asking too many questions because you look stupid, right? And when you confirm that you don't know something, it's like, oh, you don't know, right? But that kind of, for me, it's spin me into this kind of a quest for knowledge. That's why I wanted to build a school, because I love learning. So it doesn't matter if it's something that will be useful later on. I just love learning. Yeah. So for me, it kind of worked out that way, because if I'm always in an inquisitive state of mind, it's okay, right? But I noticed that with kids too. My kids, they're like, they prefer not to look like they don't know. So they stop asking the teachers questions because the teachers are like, oh, you don't know, or you're not following along.
Yeah,
right?
that's the point. Like, I remember I was in English school, English class, and I almost failed English. I excelled in everything else, but I think, the teacher, I remember asking my teacher for help. I was writing a paragraph or something, a story, and he just kind of like rolled his eyes. Like he said, like, use a semicolon or a dash or something. And I said, what's that? Like I was in high school, I think year 10 or something. And I said, what's that? And he just rolled his eyes.
Yeah.
And he felt like as if he's very flustered. He very, kind of like, oh God, it's like, you don't know this kind of thing. I felt so awkward.
Yeah.
And and that shut me down. And there's so many cases where a lot of, some teachers are like that. I remember sharing a story with another English teacher. I said, oh, I want to do this and that. And she said, that is like, I think I remember using a word, a name. And she basically said, don't use that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's the thing, like, so many of us is we want to learn, we want to, know more, we want to expand, but it's just some of the people who've, raised us or taught us or, being around us, shut us down, slap us, down, and then we kind of like, go back in and want to come back out again because it was painful.
Yeah, and it's so hot in here. And you let it stop you, which is really what comes to this summit of stepping into your power and your own wisdom, which is what I talk about, right? Where nobody can tell you what you don't or don't know because you know your own wisdom is coming from within. So it's really fascinating how often, not just as entrepreneurs, but me as a mom, and I see my kids and friends, mom friends, how they stop and let them listen to that outside noise with it and not really step into their own truth. And let that stop them, right?
Yeah, we have to quieten the noise outside, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling to quieten your noise and listen to yourself. So many truths come up. It's very uncomfortable. It's very awkward. And, I had that case where somebody said no to me and I felt so as if, like, you feel as if you're about to die, this feeling of, oh my God, people don't accept you. They don't, and that's the thing. We have this innate fear of not being accepted, that we're not good enough.
Yeah.
And you cringe. You want to do anything just to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But sitting in that truth and knowing that, oh, maybe there is something we need to improve on, that we don't know this, and we have this flaw, and then to accept that and then to do something about it and to work on it. Like the acceptance part is the hardest thing. Like, we always want to just, they say something about, oh, nah, that's not true. Like, that's them, it's their issue and stuff. But being humble enough to kind of like say, oh, maybe it is me. Maybe there is something there I need to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was something I resisted a lot. I didn't want to be told that I was wrong. I didn't want to be told, because maybe the way that they told me was maybe too harsh, right?
Yeah.
They just like, in your face just told you. Whereas you is somebody who just says, like, look, it's okay. I accept you. I see you. I love you exactly as you are. But there's something there that you could be better at, right? You can improve. And I think that's the thing. We shut down because of the way that people say it to us, and it feels really painful. And it's just like, you feel like if somebody's trying to, kill you, right? The ego doesn't want to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
It shuts down. It doesn't want to. It denies it. It tries to deflect it. Tries to distract you.
Right.
And yeah. So knowing and tapping into that truth. Oh, it's okay. I'm whole. I'm complete. It's just that these illusions of all these wrong, limiting, beliefs and this wrong way of thinking that I've been led to believe that this is the case. It's okay. I can accept it. I'm gonna work on it. I can let it go. And that's the only way you can expand and become a bit more, more authentic. Yeah. We are perfect, right? At the end of the day, we are perfect. We, like a baby that's born, doesn't know any better. It's just a conditioning outside that's made it so. And it's just lifting all the false beliefs up.
Right. And what I also feel like what's coming up for me as you're talking about this with like flaws, right? There really isn't any flaws. It's just an
Perception.
expression of something we don't know yet, right?
Mm.
So if you look at it, like that's where the imposter syndrome comes in too. And I talk a lot about this in my coaching, and I used to have so much of it. It's like, who am I to do anything? Or I feel like I don't know this, or who am I to help this person? And the comparison mode comes in versus taking a step back and saying, hey, I know this. This is my truth. You have a different truth, which is fine. There's no right and wrong. It's just what is, right? And like you said, accept that and say, hey, and own that part of yourself. Or maybe you are 1 in 8 million people who are thinking about something in a different way. And that doesn't mean it's a flaw or it's something wrong with you. It just means that's the way you see it, right?
Yeah, it's just like something's in the center, right? And you're standing on the north, I'm standing on the south, somebody's standing on the east, northwest, and northwest, or whatever it is. We all look at the same thing, but it's just that we have a different perception because we're standing at a different angle.
Exactly.
And everybody is looking at the same thing. And I think when we, especially when we go into the becoming entrepreneur, working for someone, I didn't feel any of this. But as you know, when we become like a business person, we have to put ourselves out there. That's when imposter syndrome, all those things. Mm-hmm. And that's somebody, once said, one of my mentors, he said, if you want to really find out more about yourself, go and become an entrepreneur.
Yes. Yes.
Out there.
Every journey ever.
Oh my God. It's like, it's so in your face, you become really conscious. It's like, every time you stumble, you fall. Because you stumble, you fall more often than if you're working for someone, it's okay, right? Yeah. But you see it so evidently. And it is like you've got to get back up again, and it's like cringe after cringe, and you're thinking, oh my God, like hope nobody saw that, right? It's like, you do the first video, you got to go and do your first video. And I remember looking at my first video and like, oh, I'm going to die. Yeah. So I think it's fun. It's fun.
It's fun. And it's so true, especially because both you and I have done a lot of summits, and it takes a while until you get into the groove of interviewing people and being where they're at, instead of like, okay, I have to look at my paper and remember what questions to ask, but really be in the flow of a conversation and like take it to the next level. It's a skill set, and you learn it, right, by doing. And I think that's one of the biggest things with becoming unstoppable is really keep going. Because you can, as long as you keep going, you're always unstoppable, right? It's when you stop, you stop.
Yeah. So it's I think humbling yourself to realize that there are things that you may not know, and then being okay with it, and then just getting up with it and just continue the show, right? Fall over and just continue the show. And I think the most important thing is to we're so conditioned to just go after a result. We want to just get to that result. It's a straight line. I'm going to get there and that's it. But the truth is, like, it's not a straight line. There's always these maybe U-turns, or maybe you get off track and you get sidetracked and you go to another path. Yeah. And the thing is, we all have these lessons that we need to learn. And the lessons are for us to become aware, and then we learn that lesson and we can get back on the track. And it's for us to grow and grow and grow. So I believe it's just like aiming for growth rather than aiming for the result. And we get there because we become that person that we need to become. And we need to believe in ourselves. We need to, trust ourselves. And having that self-belief is so important. I went to a boot camp on the weekend, and they said, like, you know what the key is? The 2 keys. There was 4 keys. He only shared 2. And he says to have certainty, and you have to have competence. And certainty is where you really believe in yourself. You're certain in what you do. You're 100% sold on what you do. You got to know your why. You've got to know why you do it. And if you have that certainty, it really shows up, right? Because people want to follow you because you're certain about yourself. If you're wishy-washy and you're not sure what you're doing, and you just, it's that, right? You want to follow someone who's certain, who knows themselves, who trusts it. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect. You're going to be like, knowing everything. Nobody knows everything.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But then to have the certainty in yourself and to believe that what you're doing it's going to make an impact
You
on your
know,
people.
it's yours. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one is competency, and then, self-mastery. And I think that's the thing, like, becoming unstoppable means aiming for mastery, being curious enough to really improve yourself. Like I'm like, I get it down, I get back up, and I'm doing it for myself because I want to be the best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it to improve myself, right? We're all on this journey to improve and grow. And when you take your ownership and you become the source of your own, results, and the way that you achieve and accomplish anything is coming back to yourself, and you take that ownership and become source of it, then nobody can take it away from you.
That's
like,
right.
yeah, it's my own game.
Yeah.
I make their own rules. It's my own game. If I made a mistake, I'm going to learn. I'm going to get to the next level. It's my own level. So just, you just own that. I think that took me a while to realize that, I'm not playing by other people's game. I'm not here to compete and compare with other people, because like with social media gets us so into this competitive mode. It's like, oh my God, look at that person. They hit like, how many millions or whatever it is. And then we get sidetracked and we beat ourselves up. And at the end of the day, they're playing their own game.
Yeah.
You would get back on your own game. Everybody's on different journeys. Some people are much more, they've been through a lot more. They've had more awakenings. They've been more humbled in themselves. Whereas for people like me, I'm a bit slower because I've been so guarded. And, I didn't accept, I didn't want to be told. And now I become aware of it. And it's like, okay, right, I'm just going to play it and I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm just going to learn and grow.
It's so true. I always say it's like you set the bar for the level you want to play at, right? So it doesn't matter where everyone else is. You set the bar for you, right? And then you strive towards that. I love what you said. So just to recap, you said self-mastery, right? And confidence. You talked about growth over results. And what was the first thing you said? Like acceptance of the things you don't know, right?
Yeah.
That was really powerful too.
Just accept that you don't know something and just be willing to look at things as a lesson for your own growth. Yeah. If you don't accept that you don't know something, because if you knew something, right, that's a problem. A lot of people know. We say we know something, but we don't know it because we're not getting the results. We don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
We might know it on the intellectual level, but on a deeper level here, right? You got to combine. There's this. I think a lot of people are not living in a congruent state where, intellectually, we've been feeding the intellectual for school, but we don't have it emotionally. We don't have it on a deep level within ourselves. That's where we connect with our this real soul level, and then you got to know who you want to be, and that's a bit of a spiritual level. And I teach this because I learned that I've been living more in the intellectual level, and it's just living in that loop and it's very judgmental, it's very critical in that level. It's never good enough. You can't be ever good enough for the intellectual. The mind is just stuck like that. The ego doesn't want to die. But if you connect with your heart space, that's where you can tap into a greater piece of you. That's the infinite part of you, and that's where the deeper wisdoms and everything lie. But most people don't even go there because the ego is so strong. It doesn't want them to leave and connect with their heart space.
That's so true. And that's exactly the 3 levels of wisdom is learning how to let go of the ego part and own what you know on the knowledge stage, but how do you apply it and make it become part of your knowledge, your wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So powerful. I love that. So your summit starts today, right?
Yeah.
Yay!
Let's start today, and
Subscribe to it.
Yeah, so it's been good fun. I listened to the first summit. The interview this morning is with Barbie Layton, and she's a spiritual intuitive energy coach. And there's so much gems in there, and so I just keep on listening. And she really gets you. She's talking about the power of boldness. How and it's so true. I love Earl Nightingale's quote, and he says, most people are tiptoeing through life hoping to get safely to death.
Yeah.
And she's talking about power of boldness. And she's the kind of person who just says yes, and then she'll figure out the how anyway
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
And, we need to embrace that. We need to, be a bit more bolder, and also to have live on a bigger vision. So her vision is very like global. And, even Dr. DeMartini talks about like an astronomical vision. And a lot of us need to practice stretching our vision a bit more, because I was talking to one of my clients and she said, look, I feel as if I'm not good enough and my parents don't understand what I'm doing. And I feel very insecure. And so kind of like go into this self-beat up mode, and I question, I doubt what I'm doing. And I said, well, for sure that, what are you doing? She's working with survivors. I said, what you're doing is impacting not only those women, but the generational effect, right? You don't see the effect of what you do, like as coaches and clients immediately. You might not see it like the full effect of it immediately, until you realize really, if you expand that it's going to be generational.
Yeah.
Some of the work that you do is generational. It's going to be, and people affect the people around them, and it's a ripple effect. And you got to expand that. You've got to be willing to look and expand that vision of yours and what you do. And it's a huge, like, a lot of the coaches, what they do is a huge impact on other people's lives, not just the client's life, but the people around them that they affect. Better relationships, right? They're having better relationships with their husbands as they do this work. They're able to accept themselves. They're able to accept other people. They love themselves. They become much more lovable.
I love it.
Right? And it's so many things that they need to expand. And they, being able to earn more money, give back to their family and impact the community. And, as you light up each person's life, you are lighting up a lot more than that person. So we need to know what we're worth. We have a lot more value. And I think when we start out, we don't see that because we don't have that awareness yet.
Right. And that comes from really owning your truth and stepping into, I love what you said about the boldness, stepping into saying yes, and then just go for it and figure it out, because we are resourceful. We can't figure it out. It's just taking not only mental step, but actually like a step and saying, yes, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah. I love it how somebody wrote in this book, like, we always want to figure out the how. But if you think about it, you are the finite version of the infinite spirit. And it's kind of like the finite telling the infinite how.
Yeah.
That is not possible. It's like the finite standing there is looking at a little child, and the child says, I want to have this done this way. I know it. This is the path and everything. And the finite is this huge, universal, omnipresent spirit saying, but can I show you there's another way? There's this infinite way you could achieve that. Do you want to, you want to look into that? And then you say, no, I could figure out this way. It's going to happen this way. And you get so flustered and frustrated. And this is like, this omnipresent spirit is like, interesting, isn't it? I wonder when she was going to get around. And I feel like that, it's like, yes, there's more. There's many infinite ways. Let's just surrender to it. And I think I've been learning more about surrendering recently. Wow. Yeah.
Surrendering gracefully. That's another huge topic we get to discuss another time, because that's a big one. That's a powerful one.
It is.
How can they join the summit, Melody?
I'll give you the link to put in.
I think you're part of the group, so I'm sure you could do it under video.
Put it under the little post of yours. Sorry, because I can't put in. Oh, hold on. Can I actually put in? I'll put it in afterwards.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm using StreamYard, so I'm really excited that I got to try it out.
Very much fun. It is actually really, really good. And what you say, you invite 6 people onto it. You do a little StreamYard party.
Yeah. Oh, so there's a limit to 6. Interesting.
I think you have to pay to get more.
So it's not like Zoom that you can do more.
Yeah, you can get everybody. But this one you can go as long as you want, I think. There's no whether there's a time limit.
I think I have it. It's Did you post it here?
Not yet. Let me just see.
Just unstoppable summit.com.
No. Let me just get it. I had it here. It's under my name.
Oh.
Here it is. Let me get back to your group. Modern thoughts. I love technology.
I love it's a learning process, just like you're saying. We get to learn and yeah, so it's Melody Lee, LEE.co dash, no, not dash, what do you call it, /free dash summit.
But you know, there's something with the glitch, because I had it with ClickFunnels. You've got to click on that particular link with the HTTPS. You can't put www dot. There's something until my ClickFunnels get sorted out. So that's, so click on that specific link, or even you can put in your link in there, and it'll take you to it. And then I'll be live streaming each day of the next few days. So it's from today, and you have so 6 more speakers, so 7 speakers altogether, and then you have another 7 days to watch it. And if you have you want to keep the replays, and you want to get access to replays, it's a VIP upgrade, and you get also replays to my last 2 summits. So I'm throwing in this huge bundle, and also a mini program, which is Abundant You program. But get in there and join us. And I think it's a good time to just, we're always here for self-mastery. We're always here to find out a little bit more about ourselves. And I'm sure that there's something that you can find that will unlock more of you, just to help you to take yourself to the next level. That's the whole purpose, to become unstoppable, supercharge your confidence, and take your life to the next level.
Yeah. Whatever that looks like.
Yes, right? Whatever that looks like for you. For you, it's your life. Whatever makes you happy. Don't follow the society expectations. I think that is one of the biggest things. Whatever is for you. Whatever makes you happy. And it comes down to whatever is in your heart. So, most important thing is you're fulfilled and happy.
Right. Yeah, that's it's just something I'm going through with my daughter right now. She's kind of finding her own way in life right now. She's 12 and turning 13 soon, so she has all these identity stuff coming up. And well, the school says this, and my friends say this, and TV says something else. Who am I really, right? So we have really long, powerful conversations around identity and who we get to choose to be, right? Because it is a choice. We can follow and do what everybody else is doing, and we can decide to own our brilliance and step into our own uniqueness and decide who we are, right? Not let other people tell us. So it's so important work what you're doing, Melody, and I love it. I'm so excited. I'm going to talk on Monday, so
I'm so it's great that we have this knowledge, as I'm saying, like this generational impact. Like you have this knowledge now, and you've seen and you've been through all this progression. And so some women, they never get there. They never understand this whole journey, and they're locked into this, as you say, like your daughter's like this pressure from society, this pressure from everywhere, peer groups, and they never never really discover who they are. And it's quite sad. I mean, and it's great that we are going through this journey. We can actually help other people in our family, our children especially, to unlock more of their potential and realize that no, they're not what society was conditioned them to be, and then so they can fully be who they are. So I'm so grateful for your time and being part of the summit as well, sharing all the wisdoms with women. We really need coaches like you, especially in the startup phase where we have so much of the identity crisis, because we are shifting from one, identity to another. And there is such a huge, we don't know how to really get there. And the imposter syndrome, the uncertainty, the self-doubt is natural. Yes. But a lot of us don't take it that way. We think that it's unnatural. There's something wrong with me. It's all my fault. It's all me. No, it's natural. And even if you become successful, you go to the next stage, there's going to be something else. It's like an onion that keeps on, unlocking, unleashing, becoming. So it's okay. You're not alone. It's natural. It's a natural progression. It's just the way it is. It's just how we progress and grow. There's going to be things that we we come against and we need to let go of, and undo, and then becoming new, becoming that real version of you.
Right.
It's beautiful unfoldment. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
it's I'm so glad you're talking about this. It's so needed, and especially for moms. I know you're a mom yourself, and we've talked about this before, you and I, just privately, about how important identity is and really owning your uniqueness and who you are, right? And not make you wrong because it's not landing or it's not in alignment with what other people think, but really, this is coming from me, so it's true for me. If it's true for me, then it's good, right? Then it can't be wrong. It doesn't mean you can grow and learn from it, of course, but yeah. So powerful. Thank you, Melody, again for joining us. I'll post the link for the summit in the comments as well, and don't be a stranger, come back and have a chat.
Yes, would definitely love to. With so much more to talk about, and as we discover more little little roadblocks and little hidden truths about ourselves. Yeah. Thank you. You're
So I
doing
know you're in Sydney, right? Melbourne, that's right.
Melbourne, Australia. I think they extended the lockdown for another 3 weeks. So
is it end of September?
I think October. Yeah, October. So until we get out. And so I think a great thing is that it's getting more sunny now. We're getting into spring. So my husband, he's growing the getting the garden ready and stuff. So we're just enjoying a bit of the sunshine and yeah.
Well, I hope you stay safe and that you are keeping yourself busy and entertained while you're spending the rest of the weeks in quarantine.
Yeah, it's fine. There's so much resources out there. And the summit's going to definitely keep me busy.
Wow. Yeah, see there. And books. By the way, that was my last question. What is your favorite book to read?
Oh, at the moment, I am reading The Master Key by Chris Hannell, and also Thomas Troward's The Hidden Power. And it is Thomas Troward. He's a High Court judge, and he wrote that in late 1800s or early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
So he started the New Thought movement. So it's about how thoughts become things, how you are actually one with the spirit. So he took like the Bible and the Quran and all these, the Bibles of different religions, and it's not religious, any particular religion, but it's talking about the truth, the one spirit, the one, whatever you want to call it, and take parts from the Bible and explain it in a metaphysical sense.
Interesting. What was that called again? What was that called again?
The Hidden Power. I'll give you the link. It's free on the public domain. All his books are free on the public domain. But because he was a High Court judge, he wrote it in a very court kind of way, very difficult. And you've got to read it again and again. Sometimes I could just have to read one paragraph and I've got to digest it for the next few days.
Wow.
But it's beautiful. The way he goes really deep. He really takes you on a very deep level. And that's what I like. And it's taken me months to really digest it. I'm still, so new to it, but I came across another guy who teaches this stuff. So I'm really excited, to learn more about it. So that's the kind of thing that I do. I have a little book club where I, take people through that. And it's, really studying, I think, that the hidden truths of the past, the ancient wisdoms of the old, ancient wisdoms, not the fluff of the new age, not the fluff of the new age, but it's really getting you to think more deeply. I think we're too superficial and surface dwellers. We need to go deep.
Yeah. And relate it to our own wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Like when you keep it at the second level, then it's just something you listen to and you learn, but you don't really integrate. So powerful. Yeah, Melody has really great book club, guys, if you're interested in and it's virtual, and she goes over these awesome books and discuss them on quite detailed. So, which is also what I want to go on a trip.
You're doing a retreat, right? You're doing a book club retreat. I want to be there.
Go to Australia when they open up, or Bali. I'm not I don't have to have a certain destination, but I love that part. Just bring all the books. I have 30 books on my shelf that I want to read, but I never get around to it. So.
Yeah.
Stepping into it. All right, my love. Thank you so much for joining us again. Good luck on the summit. And if anybody is interested in learning more about Melody, check her out on the summit. And your group is called Melody Live, right?
Yeah, Melody Lee Live.
Melody Lee Live. That's right.
Yeah. And you're going to be hopping on in there as well, talking. So
yep,
that would be awesome.
I'll be there.
Yes.
All right. All right, sweetie. Take care. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
See ya.